this better. Another example I can give you, when we are going for sales pitches at my office, I usually move around with my boss, the CEO. So we know each other's strength. He's the one to push. Like he can really push. He can really sell. If you are my selling, he can sell to you your own bag. Yet you already purchased it. Then I'm the one now to come in to cool the audience, because I'll be able to know what to tell them to conclude the sale. Do you understand? So you're working in groups, and you must be able to work together as a team. There are people who have certain strengths and others don't have, and they learn along the way. But those who have the strength of convincing, you have a convincing tongue, you can really talk and sell. That is the kind of person who you would want. But at the same time, when you're selling, you need to learn the game of listening. You have to listen. You know, there are people who always want to say something before you even conclude it. Me, I want to tell you. No, you have to be able to listen. What is the person saying? Then you can now come in and be able to talk about what you also want to say. But when you're going in for sales pitch, you must practice. You must know, okay, who is going to say this? You're going to talk about slide 1. I'll talk about slide 2. I know numbers more. If they're talking about projection, I'll be able to project the numbers. I'll be able to forecast more than you. People who are a calculator, you ask a percentage and they're already saying the answer. So you have to know what the other person's strength is. Any questions? You're good? Oh, that means I'm a good teacher. Or I could be good or leaving people behind, right? So are you guys okay? Okay. And then now we have to talk about how we pitch. Okay. We have to talk about how we pitch. I like the fact that people who are talking about who are trying to do the elevator pitch were introducing themselves first. None of them went without telling us their name, which is a very good point. You have to talk about your name. Use catchy words. Like I gave an example, 10 years, you can say a decade of experience. If you're a salesperson, you don't say I'm a salesperson, I'm a sales executive. You know, there are certain things that you put to sell you, much as they could seem like very simple words, but they leave an impact. It's also very important to be very confident. If you're going to talk to someone, you have to be 100% confident. Leave alone the fear, throw away fear, because what you're saying, you're the only one who knows it anyway. The other person is not reading your mind. So you have to be very confident about what you're pitching and what you're talking about. You have to bring your A game. To bring an A game, you have to be smart, really. You've gone to present to people, you're in sandals, your hair is all over the place, you didn't comb. Rest enough, such that by the time you get to those people, they can even forget about the presentation, but just you, the person who has walked in, is just enough to give us sales. So that is part of selling. From the get-go, as a first impression is key. Your first impression, walk in, and everyone will remember, I saw so-and-so. Do you remember those guys? Yes. So the first impression always matters. Before you even say any word, the moment I stand here, I'm sure most of you are already looking. Have you seen her hair? Did you see the shoes? Hey, is she holding the microphone well? Do you understand? So all of us, we don't intend it, but the moment you walk into a room, already people are judging you before you even start saying anything. So imagine you're in sandals. Already you have a mark off. So you really have to be presentable. I hope tomorrow you guys are going to be presentable. That other trick that I talk about is confidence. There is nothing that can beat that. I don't know if you have found, I don't want to use the word, but let me use it. Like you found a person who cannot reason very well, and you really know the answer that they're giving you, like you're listening to them, is wrong. And they'll leave everyone in the room thinking they were the best. It's only the judges who know that this one was just confident, but please, all the answers were wrong. So you have to be very confident. Do enough research on your master data and have enough depth. Be very clear in what you're saying. Don't use sophisticated words, You have to use very clear words and to the point. There are times when you want to sound sophisticated and you're using the word and they even ask you the meaning of it and you can't say it. So you have to be able to use very simple words but very catchy, yeah? You have to prepare a stunning design. Your PowerPoint. I don't know whether you're doing your presentations in PowerPoint. I pray that you are. because it's one way of playing around with the designs. Is everyone doing in PowerPoint? I hope so. And then we have to choose the right template. What template are you using? So the template really is usually designed according to what solution you're giving, and then the company logos and the branding. So that is what we are talking about. End memorably. You have to end in such a way that everyone has to remember. Remember, you're selling that product that you're so passionate about. At the same time, you're selling yourself, because you don't want someone to forget about you much as they remember your product. So most times, you can be complicated by giving a story, or you can be very simple and give a joke as your end. So depending on your audience. There are some people who are, if the audience is dull, you know how to play around it. Any questions? My goodness. Who was?
Do you have any standard font you can recommend for pitching?
Okay, that's where we're going. Yeah, thank you.
Right, thank you. So I would like to maybe ask how a person would go about a situation where you go to maybe pitch to some people, and actually maybe even before you even think of starting, they are already stopping you, like they are already asking a lot. And in most cases, because that has happened to me some time back, where I was somewhere talking, and before I even explain, or before we explained, the person who was doing so, they were already being asked a lot of tough questions, this and this and this, and in most cases, you realize the person may get pissed off. So you is pitching, there is a way it really doesn't look good to you, and you may get angry. So how does a person really have to go about such a scenario? Do I leave them to first talk and they ask you 5 all questions, or please guide on that? Thank you.
Okay, but I really wonder why someone would be talking about your product before you even pitch it. Does it mean that you've pitched to them before, or it's the first time you're pitching? First time, and even before I get to know your product, I'm already asking questions about your product. How did I dream about that product? So anyway, I think it's patience, because at the end of the day, it's you who has come in to pitch, right? So you need me who you're pitching to. The bottom line is to just calm down, let the person ask all the questions that they want to ask, then you wow them differently. You know, when someone is very angry, you can come up with just something out of the blue for them to start smiling, because everyone has a softer side. So you could find maybe the people who are in there are already boring them, no one is saying anything that they want to hear, and they're tired already before. So the best thing is to be very patient with the person you're pitching with. You're the one who needs them at the end of the day. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about presentation. So I think I've left my answer on the screen for long, so I'll just tell you. Anyway, presentation. When we are presenting, it's really a purpose-led summary of key information about your business in terms of plans, products, and practices. You just want to talk about your business in summary. The reason why a presentation is really a summary is because we have that large document of the business plan where you have to talk about everything. But a presentation is a summary, like we're going to see below. You're talking about, let's say, your numbers, but in summary. You're not really elaborating them. And then a business presentation is more or less a presentation. A presentation is simply an introduction, demonstration, or speech given by an individual or group of individuals to an audience, informing them about your product. And you have to convince them, you have to motivate them to be able to like your product. So when we are going into presentation, I work with Easy Money. So when we are going to talk about presentation, I earlier on mentioned and said you have to have a logo, a brand. How do you present? So this is, I think, what you are asking, right? So we are going into it. You have to have a brand logo. What do you use? So I wanted to keep it very simple so everyone understands it, not complicate it with so many. We do pitch decks almost every time because we have to be able to convince investors, we have to be able to sell, we have to be able to dive into and know if I'm in an elevator and someone asks me about Easy Money in 2 or 3 words, I should have already told them the most captive words, and then they'll be able to look for me after. So, I don't know, let me choose. I don't know the group names, but I'm just going to choose at random. This one. Sorry? Each.
HiPipo. HiPipo. Yeah.
What does it mean? Oh, no. That's what I'm going to ask you. So, now that you've told me, I want you to simply pitch about HiPipo.
HiPipo is an app which we're using to lend and borrow money, and we provide a smart contact for both borrower and the lender.
So do you guys have a logo? You have something for your presentation. Then let me go to the next people. Some people are too quiet. It's not good to be quiet in an audience. You need to be at least disruptive. Try and say something or cough, then people will know that you are around somewhere.
Okay, so Opportune is a web application built to help individuals with skills but unable to have an online profile to show their skills. Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I was asking you is so you can prepare tomorrow. So I'm sure you'll be very good because you've already said something. You have to know about what you're selling. But you also have to know why you chose that name. Really, because you're the CEOs, right? So what does this mean? Of course, we're not going to go into it, but you have to be able to know why that name, why that particular brand name. So you're the vision bearers. You're the ones coming up with your product. You're the vision bearers before you find people to work for you, right? So you have to know what it is, why you chose it, why it should impress me, really. If I'm in the audience, I'm trying to listen to you. Why HiPipo? So if I'm in an elevator and you ask me about Easy Money, this is what I'll tell you. Easy Money is a technology company dealing with both financial and non-financial services, targeting people at the bottom of the pyramid. The moment I say that, you want to know who are those people before I even continue, right? So the vision bearers know why they called it Easy Money, because they didn't want to be forgotten. No one can forget this name, right? Easy Money. Even when you tell a police officer on the road and they stop and where do you work? Easy Money. Mumpe kusente. So it's easy to make, right? So you have to know why you came up with a brand name, and it has to come off head very easily before we even go into anything else. So that is what Easy Money is all about. We're going to use the pitch deck for Easy Money just to take you through how your presentations should look like. But you can tweak them here and there. Disclaimer, these are not real numbers. I just try to come up with something. So, you see the first slide, like I said, keep it very simple. Who we are. Probably someone else would think about a complicated word. Why are they just saying who they are? But it's very simple to understand. The moment you read it, you're saying, okay, who are they? Then we talk about ourselves. We are Easy Money, a technology company. We do 1, 2, 3 things. We are now regulated by Bank of Uganda. This is what we do. So you have to be able to capture people in the first slide. How long have you done what you're doing? We have done it from 2013. Then the next slide will be our ask. You know, we want your attention. Again, the words are very simple. I'm not saying, I don't know, I don't want to use a complicated word to talk about something very simple that even when you're seated at home, you'll be like, okay, they just asked for something. So this is our ask. This we usually, when we are doing like investor pitches, what are we asking for? What do we need? Then we'll talk about everything that we need. Probably need capitalization. This is where we are. This is what we have done so far. So you talk about what you want. So you can be able to capture attention. Feel free to ask me, because this one here I'm going to walk through one slide at a time. The solution. What is that problem? Why is Easy Money in the market? Or why is HiPesa in the market? Why are you in the market? And all of you who are trying to pitch tomorrow or to make presentations, why do you want to come into the market? So the solutions that we offer, the different things that we do. So we talk about our market, we talk about the trade, we talk about our working capital. Very simple things. Like I said, these are not real. They're just dummy things. So, and most times, it's very, very important to have high resolution pictures. If you've decided to use pictures, they have to be very high resolution. Someone has to know what your picture is about. They shouldn't squint their eyes to find out what that picture is trying to say. This is our product bouquet. Or you can say your product or services, but it's a simplistic word to say our bouquet, and this is what we do. We have an auto collection, we are aggregators, we have service centers, we do tracking business. So what are you guys' solution? I mean, what are your product bouquets? What is it that you're trying to build? Yes? Because now for us, when we talk about service centers, we have bill payments, mobile money, agency banking, money transfers. That is what we offer under there. So what are you trying to offer? What is that solution that you're bringing on the market? The market opportunity. The market opportunity is really the solution that you're bringing on the market, but you're trying to tell people, this is where we have seen the gap. When we try to do HiPesa, this is the gap that we are seeing. When we try to do, what are these? Infinix, right? Infinix, what are you guys trying to pitch?
Thank you so much. We are the Infinix Empowerment Hub, and when we tried looking around, we noticed that there are very many underserved women in terms of finances, and so we thought we could give them startup loans so that they can start up something for themselves and get a source of income. Thank you.
Okay, so you have to think about how different you're going to be from the already existing people who are offering the same. How different are you going to be? What is your niche? How unique are you going to be in the market? So this is what we are doing right now. Everyone is, not everyone, but most people who are coming on the app are doing bill payments. That is water, Yaka, and all that. So we have tried to come up with something a little bit unique, a one card that everyone can use, and it can be used for anything. So if you're in church, you can use your card to save your money, your tithe, and then it will auto move off to the church. You know, every time you have to keep innovating, and you innovate differently. So as you look at everyone doing your solution, you have to find out, this solution that I'm doing, how can I do it better than them? Why would the customers come to me? Then the strategic, the distribution partners. So we talk about your strength, your partners. Who are those partners that we have? We have an agent. We have agents plus 2,000. Of course, that's not the number. Now we're at 3,000. We have hospitals. We have shell stations. We have mesos. There's so many things. So these are the numbers that you also have to use to pick up the people who are listening to you. Then okay, now these are our numbers, EM in numbers, Easy Money in numbers. So anyone can say financials, but for us we are saying, for this particular side, we are saying Easy Money in numbers. This is how we are performing. when you look at us, last year we did this year we are doing this, and this is how we are growing. So it's important to also project. You guys are doing a startup, but you will project. You have to have a slide that is projecting. Then the financials. How did you do in 2021, 2022? All you guys might not have this slide because you're startups, right? But you have to have a slide for projection. And then, who are our competitors? Our competition as Easy Money, we have Payway, we have InterSwitch, we have ChapChap, we have FlexiPay, we have EasyPay. So we have to know all these people. Who are the competitors and what is the strength that we have more than them? So we list them and they're on the dashboard, and we have to remember, okay, there is Payway. What are they doing? If we innovate away from what they are doing, this is what we can do better than them. And you can see their numbers. They are agents. These are just dummy numbers that I'm trying to plug in. Does all our competitors, do they all have what we have? What hardware are they using? Most people are using an app. Okay, we also have to innovate. We have to come up with an app. Some people are giving a free terminal. How much are we selling ours? Then you have to subsidize the price. So basically, knowing about your competitors and the ratio in the market is very important, because you cannot just jump in. If you jump in, then along the way, that is why most businesses die, because you find that your competition stays on longer than you. So that's the competition. Then the leadership team. Again, these are very old. So you talk about your team. Who are those people who on the team who are driving you, who are making you shine? People behind in the background. You talk about the most important people, the ones who you want to talk about. You talk about your team. I'm sure if you're 4 people, this is how your slide would look like. If you're 5, because you're the founders, you're the CEOs, that's how your slide would be. It is hot. Hey. Okay, then our growth strategy, which everyone wants to know. How are you going to grow? Are you just coming into the market and then 6 months down the road we don't hear about you again? So if you're going to talk to investors, you have to know, how are we going to grow? How are we going to make sure that our business grows? So you develop new markets. You penetrate into the markets. You consolidate with existing partners. So some of these things you don't even have to reinvent the wheel. There's some things that are already existing. All you have to do is get a piggy ride onto whatever is existing, but do it better. If you get to know the developing markets, if we're in Uganda and then we're saying, okay, we're in Uganda and we have really gone across the whole country, where else can we go? Because right now, we're in over 10 countries. So you have to be thinking outside. Where can we go? What solution can we take to Rwanda? What solution can we take to Kenya? We're now going global. We are done with Uganda. It is now time to move. So you have to be able to develop new markets. Penetrate the existing. You have to know, if we are developing something, who are we really developing it for? Who is going to benefit? Is it the corporate people? Is it the middle class? Is it the underserved? Now, when I heard you talking about the underserved, recently I was in Karamoja, northern Uganda. It is so dry. And you know, somehow I was thinking in my mind, I'm saying, okay, we're in Kampala and we're trying to innovate so many things. But these guys don't even know how a phone looks like. Not even a small feature phone. They have no idea. So how can you help those ones? I hope you're going up country, because the people in the CBD are being taken care of. You know, people are being given loans and everything. But how about those people deep down in the village? Is someone thinking about them? As you guys are innovating, are you thinking about those people who don't have water? Like they really have to walk kilometers to get to a water body to be able to fetch and then walk again back home. So there are so many, there's a lot that in Uganda that we haven't yet tapped into, and we are innovating, and yet we are innovating for a certain class of people. So someone has to come up with how can we help the people really who are underserved. There is being underserved, but there are those I need to find a word for them because we are saying underserved. I think we should say very, very underserved. There are guys who are there and they just want someone, they just need someone to give them a leap of faith. And then when we talk about consolidating existing markets, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, like I said. See, when we joined, we piggybanked on the APIs of the telcos to be able to move on with business. You just integrate. You don't have to also now come up with something new and say, okay, now we're going to develop SIM cards. They're already existing. The telcos are doing that. Now we're going to come up with our own API for mobile money. No, get the API for MTN, ride on them, and that solution is solved. So there are certain things that are as simple as that. You don't really have to think so much to be able to start a business. Also, the typical example here, we have Vivo. I don't know if you guys have been in Shell stations. Already those stations have the shelter, the nice-looking shops. All we had to do is give them a gadget to use. And then they're selling our products. If anyone holds a Jubilee card, it's powered by us. So we look around and say, okay, insurance. What is insurance lacking? There is a lot of insurance theft and all that. What can we do? Let's develop a card for them and give them a card where people can be able to store their money and have their benefits on. And in order for anyone to access, they have to use a fingerprint. So all those things have to juggle in your mind. You really have to think outside the box tomorrow to be able to convince the judges. Then don't forget to end thanking people, letting people who the person is, the contact person, what's your position, what's your email. If they want to contact you, how do they contact you? Because you could do a presentation and leave and everyone's like, okay, we wanted that person. Did they leave a card? No. Can they be found anywhere? We don't even know. What do we do? That is how we miss opportunities. So you always have to have your contact. So let me stay here on this slide. I hope everyone has understood. If you haven't understood, please ask your questions. Are we clear? Is everyone okay? Yes? Huh? Hey. Everyone is okay, even the people at the back. Sauda, your neighbors on the last row, are they good? Yes? The gentleman, where is the other? So I want to ask you a question. You at the very back. Please send the microphone. What is presentation? At least by the time it gets to you, you'd have collected yourself and you know what to tell us.
It's simply a summary of your thing about a project. Sorry about that. Presentation is simply a summary of your project or your thing that you want to deliver to the user. It's just a summary of your project for this case.
Ask questions.
Thank you very much. What's the maximum number of slides for a pitch deck?
Please switch off. First of all, do you know why I'm trying to think? Not really to think. I usually try to find a joke out of everything. First tell me, why did you put on a t-shirt that has bad? Maybe talk to us about that t-shirt, then I'll tell you the number of slides you're supposed to have. Why? Okay, just me. Me, I want to understand. You know, I just want to know. Maybe next time you find me wearing the same T-shirt. So please, enlighten me. What happened to the microphone?
It's just a logo.
Your company is called BAD.
My company is called FinHub.
You guys, allow me to deviate a bit. It is very important the way we brand ourselves. If you decide to wear a T-shirt that has BAD, my friend, be sure to be bad in a good way. Like, yeah, you can be bad, but I don't know. I don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say. Be very conscious about the things that you brand yourself with. So you see, even you're not sure why you're wearing the T-shirt BAD, but maybe you went into the market and saw it, and you know. So now that is the presentation. You're walking into a presentation, and you're among the three people, you're the one who is going to speak, right? That's why I'm saying that wear certain brands, knowing what they represent. So that is why I was deviating a bit. But many times you find people wearing certain things and they don't know why they are wearing them, but it's also important to know why you're wearing that particular thing, right? So if you're wearing a designer thing, maybe that designer inspires you. So that's why I had to ask a question, why you're wearing a T-shirt that has BAD, just. Anyway, the number of slides, someone here is really laughing at you. The number of slides, they shouldn't exceed 10. Don't bore people. Also because remember it's a summary, you're just picking up important, like if you get to the slide that has numbers, you're talking about very important numbers, yes? So as you're talking about your numbers, they should just be in summary. This is what we have done, not a calculation, this is how we derive at gross profit and all that. That comes into a business plan. So you should keep them as minimal as you can. But also that presentation, like we talked about, if it is for investors, you have to make sure certain slides are not missed out, like the market share, like the budget, your forecast numbers, who are your competitors, okay? So you have to make sure that certain slides are not missed out because you have to make an impression and you want that check, right? Yes. And don't mind me about your T-shirt, but I thought I should comment. How can we improve our pitching and presentation? Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Where in the presentation does a prototype come in?
Okay. I think where the slide that has products, what you want to talk about, you can input it there. I need help. Charlotte, you can input it there, but also be sure to explain it very well. Yes? Back to that slide. But it has to be posted. It has to be posted. before I go to the next slide, who would want to tell us what they've learned before we go on? Because I'm at the point of conclusion. What have you learned? Just in summary, what do you want to tell us? Anything?
Well, before I had a question, okay, it wasn't my question, it was hers. She was asking about a font that we're supposed to be using. Okay, a font that you would recommend us to use. Then back to what I've learned is that during pitching, you are supposed to have like this unique thing that is really going to catch the judge's attention, regardless of whether what you're doing is, okay, whether your system is working or not. Of course, I'm not saying it's not supposed to work, but on top of working, I mean, you're supposed to have like this extraordinary something that the judges are going to keep remembering about you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's actually very important. Anyone?
Okay, thank you so much. I've learned that presentation is key. Yeah, the way you present yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? You guys, more answers, more answers. I told you this has to be interactive. Just say anything. Sometimes you think what you're saying is wrong, yet it's actually the correct thing. Have you ever been there and you want to ask a question and you don't ask it, another person asks it? So ask, speak.
My name is Amanda Nchirao from Simbla. So my question is, like you said, when you're going to pitch your business to investors, you always go to people. So I'm asking now for our case, is it still so important for two people to pitch an idea, or only one person can pitch that idea?
If you're going for sales pitch, it's important to go more than one person, especially depending on your audience. Also, you can read your audience. There is an audience that can have maybe 5 people or 2 people. You don't really have to go a whole lot of you. So you read and judge your audience. Who are you going to sell to? Then that's when you determine. Most times when you're going for a sales pitch, in order to convince a person, there is someone who really convinces better than you. All of you in the team cannot have a convincing tongue. Everyone has a different gift. So you can look out for everyone's strengths and weaknesses, and you know who is going to talk about this, who is going to say this, who will sell it better than me, and when do I come in. So you have to do a team play. Got it? Yes.
Mine is not a question. This is opportune once again. I'm a Paris Cecilia. Everybody's talking about confidence. But I think confidence is something that is built over time. It is not, you're not going to force it that I'm going to be confident, I'm going to be confident once I'm up there and all that. It's something that is built. I personally am not that confident, but I think I'm learning. Okay, all thanks to FinTech.
No, you're actually very right. Let me tell you, I'm an introvert, naturally. So when you look at me now, you might think that, she's not. You're right. You build your confidence over time. But you also don't have to hide in the shell of, confidence is built over time. Go home, practice, look in the mirror, find out who you are. All of us have that lioness within us. You understand? Like, we have that confidence within us. But sometimes it's what life has taught us. Some of us went to boarding school where we're not allowed to speak. Some parents don't say, hey, keep quiet. What do you want to tell me? So your confidence is really suppressed, but you have the confidence within you. You see, there is a story I usually tell. Remember I said you have to tell a story so people can remember you. When I was joining MTN, I didn't have a CV. I just said, you know what, I need to work in MTN. You know why? By the time, I didn't study from here, but the time when I came back, I found people with pickups. MTN pickups everywhere. I don't know whether you guys, I don't think I don't think you were born. But anyway, those MTN pickups used to be everywhere. MTN had learned a way of branding. Like, you go to a supermarket, there is a pickup. When you go for those marketing drives, there is a pickup. And then also the way they used to carry themselves. So by the time I was like, okay, I really need to work in MTN. Why? Who are these guys working in MTN? And guess what? One day I got up. I used to work in an MTN shop. I got up in a My Nilcom t-shirt. I said, I am going to the CEO of MTN. And today is that day. I walked. I went in, the PA asks me, do you have an appointment? I said, yeah, I have an appointment. You know why? Because I had a branded t-shirt of a franchise of MTN. Like, you're sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure I have an appointment. So I sat and waited. When he came in, I'm like, okay, he's right there. I walked in and I had to pitch. And by then I didn't know I was pitching. I just told that guy, I need to work in MTN. Simple. I know I am the person you're looking for. Hey. He looked at me and said, what's your name again? Then I had to tell him, start tomorrow. So sometimes it is what you carry and what you believe. Believe in yourself. Confidence is built over time, but you can build it. Don't wait for 10 years while people are passing by you saying, okay, me, I'm still building my confidence. It's not yet there. No, you can build confidence. And you have to know that all of us are go-getters. It is how we get what we want. How badly do you need that thing? Let me tell you, if I want something, I will get it. And the mistake that you should ever make to tell me is that that is not possible. No. I believe everything is possible. And now for some of us who pray, you tell God, I know it will happen. Do you understand? Everything is possible. It's how badly you want it. It's like if they tell you you're sick and your cure is, I don't know, the farthest country on this mountain, wouldn't you do everything possible to go there? You would even go to immigration and lie about something. Or if it is necessary, you hide into a bus which takes you to one point, then to another one. So all of us have what it takes to build our own brand. Got it? Anyone else? Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Evelyn Nakanoaji, and what I've learned is still about confidence. You must be confident about what you are presenting. You must show that you really understand what you are trying to sell to the people. We should avoid words like over, maybe. We should show that we know exactly what we are presenting and pitching.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Once again, I'm Linda Namaja Patricia. So what I've learned from the presentation is that, like how Newton said, to every action, there is a reaction. So the way you present yourself matters a lot. Are you trying to get me?
Yes, I am getting.
So the way you present yourself to the judges, to anyone, like just get a scenario when you, like the way she said, as she wants to work in MTN. There's a scenario also me, I wanted to visit NBS. I got my dress, smartly dressed. Then I just boarded, I went to NBS. Though I had an interview with NBS, but it was by chance, after applying somewhere, then by chance I went to NBS early in the morning. At 9, there. So when I entered the gate, you did everything. The way you present yourself is everything. So I was smart. So to make it good enough, I found a guy, like he's a policeman. Those people who be on the gate. He was a man. Huh. Okay. I think you're getting the point. Yeah, I just wanted you to laugh. So the way you present yourself matters a lot. That's what I wanted to push. So that's what I
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My biggest takeaway has been the power of language when you're selling. As you spoke, I came to realize that you could sell this pen if you called it probably an ink something, something, something that writes your vision. I don't know, but like the power of language in selling.
That one off. Yeah, so her pen, the pen that she was talking about, can probably write on the moon or something, so you can be able to sell anything. And you know, I have another life story. Crane Bank, the days of Crane Bank. I was still working with Easy Money. It was a Saturday, and my boss calls me up to say, oh, we're running out of this product and you need to go to the bank and transfer money. I was like, ha, okay. Where I was, of course, like, okay, it's a Saturday. I had my shorts on, I had my sandals. I was like, okay, now, of course I was smart. It was a Saturday. I walk into the bank. I'm like, oh, I've come to transfer money. The system is not working. Sit. I was like, okay, let me be patient. 10 minutes later, I go back. Hi, I want to transfer money. No, sit down. Then I was like, okay. Our system is not working, go to another branch. And of course, you have to be down to earth, very humid. I was like, okay. I walk to another branch. I get into a branch, they tell me the same thing. Do you know why? Everyone is thinking, this person here, she's wearing shorts. She's in sandals, really, and she wants money, and this much money. So it took me time for people to be able to know, okay, this person has to get attention. I made one phone call and said, I want to know whether these systems are off. And everyone in the banking hall started running around. So your presentation. And to cut the long story short, actually someone got fired. Because you know, when you're seated there and you're looking at someone thinking, okay. But also the way I had presented myself, what was I going to say? You know, people, most times they say don't judge a book by its cover, but in these presentation things, we don't joke around. If you're coming to pitch, please don't joke by wearing shorts and, I don't know, Air Forces on a wrong day. You know, also your Air Forces have to match your outfit. So my kids are telling me about freaks. I don't know, so many kinds of shoes these days. But you have to know your dress code. Where am I going? I'm going to bankers. And you know, bankers or lawyers are in courts every time as if they're choking them. But that is what they dress to. So you also try to dress in that line. Not really like a banker, but dress smartly. Present yourself and be able to get an audience. Anyway, I hope I can continue. So I want to talk about ways you can improve on your presentation. There are so many videos we can watch to improve on our presentation. We have to be able to, I need Charlotte to help me play this video so I can be able to talk about vocabulary. We need to be able to continuously be students and be humble. You know, not all of us know everything. You could think, I know better than you, yet you can teach me what I don't know. So everyone brings something.